Welcome to Great Notley Garden Village, a new development of over 2,000 homes near Braintree in the heart of Essex. In these programmes, we're following the construction of hundreds of new homes and getting to know some of the people building new lives here. The village homes are designed to suit a variety of individual needs and lifestyles. There are houses for sale, for rent and shared ownership, ranging from one-bedroom apartments to five-bedroom detached homes. With over two-thirds of the 2,000 homes now built and over 1,000 people having already moved in, the new village community is rapidly coming alive. Today, I'm going over to the Stowe area to learn some of the trade secrets of painting and decorating with Ken Woods.
That's that one ready. Decorating. The houses are reaching almost that final stage, and Ken is one of the decorators here. An experienced hand who's going to show me one or two tricks of the trade. We're going to do a door first of all, Ken.
Yes.
How do you start doing a door? You're rubbing it down first of all.
You start, yes, it's undercoated, and at this stage the undercoat has drawn the timber up. It feels fluffy. So what you have to do now is to rub the edges down, the face edge, and these corners, just to take the edge off there. Right. The same with the back. When you've done that, you then paint in these panels.
That's the first thing you paint.
Paint in the panels, yes.
Shall I have a go?
But not too much paint because it will run through the corners.
Not too much paint.
Not too much paint. That's right.
How should I stroke the brush?
That's right. You're doing all right as you are.
Am I?
Yes. You don't need to stroke the brush in those corners. The doors are among the hardest things to paint because there's such a broad area to cover, and if you don't apply the paint in the correct amount on the door, it does what we call curtains, and it begins to run down in folds like that. So you have to put exactly the right amount of paint on the brush to begin with.
Now when you put the paint on your brush then, you're doing it, you see, you dab it against the side.
You don't scrape it on the top.
You were doing that?
Yes, because if you scrape it on the top, it will run down and it will stay wet on the top, and if you get it round the wrong way, you get it on the back of your hands. So you rub it off on the inside.
Well, you've been painting for hours today. You barely got any paint on you.
I try to keep clean. Well, you have to work to a system. You do the ceilings, and then you do the walls, and then you have to prime. You do your knotting and your priming, your undercoat, and your glossing. So, and it's that system. If you don't have a system, it goes to pieces.
There are 8 to 10 painters working on the site at any one time. They work individually, not in teams, painting one house at a time. A small 2 to 3 bedroomed house will take an experienced painter and decorator like Ken 6 to 7 days to complete both inside and out. Laying off is the trade secret of a good glossy finish. These are the final brush strokes, evenly distributing the paint and smoothing out any lumpy bits, especially mine.
It's not quite even enough. I mean, another day with me and I'll have you painting doors like a professional.
Show me laying off then, and then I'll leave you to get on with your job.
All it is to ensure that you've got an even spread of paint over the whole door.
Right.
So, having got it on, you need to... now we start at the top and we come down and we do it this way. We spread the paint like this.
You're just quickly gliding over. Well, you're not really gliding, you're putting a bit of pressure on.
Put some pressure on to make sure that it's even. And there's not any paint that's sort of in a bunch that's going to run down, you see. And the same there. And then we draw it downwards like this.
So I suppose a good painter doesn't use anything like as much paint as a bad painter.
No, not really, no, because experience has taught us how much to put in the brush in the first place.
Right. I think you've done a fantastic job there, Ken.
There you are.
And that's the door done in 5 minutes.
Done. Yes, oh yeah.
Well, one part of the door, I suppose.
One part, yes. The other side will be quick, just the same.
Lovely that, Ken. Smashing meeting you.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks ever so much. I'll
Thank you.
I'll leave you to
Yeah.
carry on.
I'll leave you to brush up on your studies of painting doors.
Ken is not only a master craftsman, but an excellent teacher. However, I must now leave the painterly world of curtaining, dabbing and laying off and go over to the country park for a spot of fishing with Barry Nuttall.
One of the residents of the Stowe, Barry Nuttall, who we've already met, with the family, doing a spot of fishing, relaxing, enjoying the summer, yeah?
What summer have we had this year? Yes.
Have you caught anything?
We've had a few small little skimmers, but it's very pleasant over here. Nice, relaxing afternoon.
Barry is a greengrocer from Chelmsford. The Nuttalls were the first family to move into the Stowe just over a year ago.
You've got 5 kids, haven't you?
5 altogether, yeah.
So that takes some looking after during the summer holidays, doesn't
Well, the 4 young ones, yeah. I don't see much of the older one, but the 4 young ones, yeah, they need quite a lot of supervision, I must admit. But coming over here, it's keep an eye on them, and they love their fishing, so it's good fun for everybody.
it? It's nice, isn't it? Because this is just across the road, and you go under the road, don't you, to get
You
here?
can walk, but we drive around and park by the gate. But you can walk over, but with carrying all the gear, it's a bit more difficult. But it's good.
Last time we spoke to you, you were well settled, but you still had quite a few things to do with the house. You've had considerably more time now, several months. How do you feel about life here?
It's a lot more relaxed than where we were, I must admit. You see more people using their bikes.
Do you?
I do use the bike occasionally, go and pick the kids up from school, yes I do, which I'd never done before, never dream of it. So it is a different way of life over here, definitely.
All in all, you're very happy here.
Yeah. House is superb.
Neighbours good?
Neighbours are good, yeah. We're getting on with everyone. We've had no problems at all. All the kids love it over here. They love their freedom, which they never had before.
So what have they got in here? Have they got any decent fishing?
Well, they say there's a few carp and tench and things, but we only seem to get the skimmers, so but we don't try that hard.
Well, that must mean in a few years' time it'll be a serious fish.
I reckon it'll be quite a serious fishery. Oh, I've got a little tiddler. Look at that.
Now, when you said skimmers, I didn't think you were meaning quite that small.
Yeah, well, big smile. Oh dear. That's one for the record books.
Join us in part 2 when we meet the site building inspector Eileen Mccutcheon. And I find out what the backroom staff from head office make of the village. Welcome back to Great Notley Garden Village. I'm now going over to Willow's Edge to join Building Inspector Eileen Mccutcheon. There are literally hundreds of building regulations that must be adhered to, and Eileen is responsible for checking the lot.
If you've been sticking with us through these programmes, you'll know this lady, Eileen, who's the building control surveyor, or kind of a building inspector, and you've come to have a look at 104, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because it's nearly finished.
Yes.
What's your first job?
Well, what we'll do is we'll walk round the outside of the house, and just make sure that everything's sealed. All covers are on extract fans, the windows are mastic round the edges, just a general that everything's completely sealed and finished.
So you're just quickly scanning all this with your eye, are you?
Yeah, we just have a quick visual look round it all.
You see anything you don't like,
Check all
shout
these
out.
areas
What's
round
that?
here. Yeah, I will do. No, just checking that the flashing is taken in.
Does that all look pretty good?
Yep, everything's pretty much as it should be round here. We'll need to go through the back here to get a...
Okay.
Good one. Right.
I love love the way you can just scan a whole house and look for exactly what you want to see.
I know, we're just, I mean, it's all the things that we'd previously looked at. There's the eaves ventilation, the double one that we spoke about in the past. Yeah. We've got an area there that just looks like it needs just a finishing sort of plate, if you like, on top.
Should this be painted?
Yeah, it should be finished off. They'll probably put some sort of cover on top of that, a white cover, and seal it with mastic.
All right.
So that will just need to get finished off.
So those are the only two things?
A bit similar like that. It'll finish up like that one, really.
I've always wanted to know about these. Well, at least since I've been round here anyway. You occasionally get them in between the bricks. What are they?
They're actually perpen joints, or weight joints, some people call them. And what happens is above the opening we have a lintel that we probably saw earlier on. That's it. That's the underside of it.
Right.
And what we do is we close the cavity above the lintel.
Lintel across the door.
That's it, to spread the load. That's actually the cavity above it is closed. And on top of that we have a damp-proof tray.
Yeah.
And what happens is any water getting in above that level into the cavity will come down, hit the cavity tray and work its way down to these joints, and any water will come out through the joint.
Like an old gargoyle on a building with the water spurting out. Well, perhaps I'm getting a little carried away there, but... Now, this house is not actually finished, is it?
No.
So, I mean, we're not doing a snag list like if you were buying the house.
No, under my job, we don't actually snag the property. We just make sure that it complies with building regulations.
So what are you looking for?
Well, at this stage, it's all sort of just the main sort of finished items like extract fans, toughened glass, thermostatic radiator valves. There's a range of things like that.
It hasn't got an extract fan?
No, it hasn't got one yet.
It should be there.
It should be there, and it will be ducted through to the external layer via that area there.
So someone will check that later.
Yeah, come back and do
toughened glass. How do you know that this is toughened glass?
Well, what we do is we check for the symbol that's up here in the left-hand corner. It's marked up there, British Standard 6206. So we know that it complies.
See, I've seen those lots of times and I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. So is it all about health and safety, the sort of stuff that you're looking for?
Yeah, ours is mainly health and safety of the people who are going to be occupying the house, to make sure that they're not going to be in any danger.
So you're not bothered about the fact that the paint might not be that good?
No, it's nothing to do with us. That's something that the site managers will pick up. We can't comment too much on the workmanship either. It's basically just that it complies with building regulations, and that's all about health and safety.
So if the cupboards didn't fit properly, you wouldn't say anything?
No.
During my time at Great Notley Garden Village, I've been on many site inspections with Eileen. I remember her examining the first foundations, her X-ray eyes checking the strength of the roof joists, and as the buildings grew, signing off the wall ties and inspecting the safety and strength of the roof trusses. But now it's time for an exciting new chapter in Eileen's life to begin.
And that's about it, Eileen?
Yep.
And that is about it, because you've got a little secret there, haven't you? Well, it's not such a little secret anymore.
It's not anymore, really, no. I'm nearly 6 months pregnant, so I'll be going off on maternity leave in another couple of months for a little while, and then I'll be back again.
So it's a little while in the office for you now, and then what, about 6 months off?
And then maybe 6 months off, and then back into it all again.
Well, I hope it all goes wonderfully well for you.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you.
And what do you want, a boy or a girl?
Oh, we're not bothered. Just as long as it gets a nice hard hat.
A nice hard hat, lovely.
We wish Eileen and her family well. Today, it's the developer's head office staff outing to Great Notley. The aim is to show off the fruits of their collective labour. But will it meet with the staff approval? Let's join the charabang and find out.
We're actually going into the Grange
at this stage. This is about halfway through the village. Notice that the roads are quite tight, and the reason for that is this traffic calming. Most schemes must be traffic calmed nowadays. The majority of them 20 mile an hour. One or two of you were asking about that Grange building. When we get to the next big roundabout, if you look off to the left, you'll see this building, and it forms the focal point of this part of the development.
The tour rep and guide leader today is the Great Notley project director, Richard Moore.
Notice how the architecture changes again. Far more traditional sort of Essex-looking housing here. As you move up this street a little bit, we're going to start to introduce some the old-fashioned almshouses, and they're on the right, and they're slightly more terraced. Because notice there's a lot of detached properties here, but we're starting to reintroduce some terracing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after our journey through the village, we will now make a site visit to the two show houses here in the Stowe area.
What we're doing here is we're bringing those people that don't normally get to see the sites, and we're bringing them out. They're accountants, they're our receptionists, personnel, they're in the legal department, so they're dealing with these buildings but in a rather abstract way. This is actually to put some meat on it and say this is what this company is all about. It's a development company, it builds houses, these are the houses.
What do you think they're going to think of them?
Well, some of them probably like them, some of them are not. The housing and the way they're finished off is always a personal view. A very difficult market to predict. I should imagine that you've got some comments like they don't like them. I should imagine you've got some comments that they're absolutely enthralled and wish they could afford them.
First on the itinerary is the Manor, a traditional style 5-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms, garden and double garage. Trouble is, it'll set you back a cool £315,000. Well, we're through the keyhole, so let's have a look around.
Oh my god, look at the space! This is a kitchen. So yeah, have you seen the size of the utility room?
Well, the girls are having a little look round the house, having a look at everything, deciding whether they could live like this or not.
The stairs will be a nightmare to hoover. So there's another hatch in here. Still room for the wardrobes. There's 3 of us in this bathroom, and it's still
What do you think, girls?
I think it's lovely. Very nice. It's a bit small, very nice. No. Live anywhere quite so close.
You would buy this house?
Yes.
Would you?
Definitely, yes.
If Countryside goes to rise.
No, it's a lovely house.
Well, the straw poll votes yes to the Manor House. Next, the Gatehouse. Built around a centrally featured chimney, this 2-bedroom cottage with 2 ensuite bathrooms, garage and garden will set you back just £155,000. So let's see what they think of this.
What do you think? Yeah.
I don't like this one.
You don't like it?
Absolutely not. Oh, don't put me on to
No, it's all right. So go on. What are you saying about? What do you think about
It's
it?
too open. I mean, you open the front door and everyone can see right into your house.
You've got no hallway, have you?
No hallway. You straight.
And that is absolutely awful.
I don't like that.
But they like this. They think this chimney's nice.
Do they?
And they say it's a feature that runs right the way through the house.
Who does?
Who does?
The architects.
But we're the public.
We'll be the people that might have to buy one of these.
And you don't like that?
No, not at all.
Do you like? You do.
No, I do like it, but I think there needs
In another thing.
there needs to be more room the other side. It's just too clamped up.
What
It's
about-
a nice feature, but
What about the fact that it's one big room? Do you like that? Or
yeah, I
not?
like that.
Oh, you do like that.
I like that as well. I like that, but I just don't like the fireplace right now.
I like
Where's
the
the room
dining
to
room
put your
to be separate.
TVs and videos
Well, the
and
actual
sound system
PowerPoint
and
is over
stuff?
there.
There's nowhere for it, is there? Well,
over there.
One big room. I don't see this as being a big room.
You don't like this, do you? Why don't you like the chimney?
It's just something that's just stuck in the middle.
So, would you buy it?
No.
No.
Not for the money. Two bedrooms.
The one next door I would.
Add a bedroom.
What about the one next door?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, the other one's lovely.
So next door it's a thumbs up. This one is a thumbs down.
I might see a 3-bedroom
Well,
maybe.
the bosses say they want to know, so you'll have to tell them.
I want the
Thank you very much. Let's move on.
Well, these girls have certainly enjoyed their day out. And although they've only had a peek at 2 of the designs for the new houses, I'm sure it'll give head office food for thought.
Now here's someone else from the offices. This is Helen, who's the office administrator, who's out here for a couple of days getting stuck in. I think it's probably the best way getting soaking wet is the best way to describe it. What are you doing, Helen? Can I give you a hand?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Oh, it moves.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of pressure in there. Basically, we laid the turf a couple of days or a day ago. And
This thing's got a mind of its own.
oh yes.
Go on.
And it started to die off, so I thought I'd come out today and give them a hand so that we can get a bit of water through it, and then tomorrow we'll tamper it down, and that way it won't die off.
This is a lot different from being an office administrator.
Heaps different.
Which do you prefer?
I don't know, it's nice to get out on a nice day to be able to just see what everyone does outside and not be cramped in the office so much.
And we're not flooding this.
No, you're meant to. See, what it is over the night it'll settle.
Ugh. This is really marshy now. You sure this is absolutely right?
Yeah, it's a lot of the water will die down.
So you're doing anything else apart from watering this patch, no?
No, I've got all the front gardens to water, and I think that'd be about it.
Right. I'm going to leave you to it because I'm going down with the grass here. But carry on, Helen.
Cheers.
There's only one problem, and that is that Helen's so enthusiastic, she's flooded these houses. And Peter, the site agent, asked me to clear it up. Cop for that. However, maybe she's picked up on one little flaw in the Stowe's design, and that is they haven't got any drains along here.
Join us again when we return for another episode in the life of the Great Notley Garden Village.